There you go. I'm just gonna let it record now. I don't care if I have to trim out 10 minutes of dead air.
Oh, okay.
I will be fine. Always end up okay.
Okay. When we introduce our speaker. Lord, I just thank you that we're here this morning. I thank you that we are able to meet in such a cool venue, cool church, cool people. And I just ask that this morning when you speak to Sue's heart in her field of expertise in growing businesses and educating us, that you give her the inspiration to lift us up and give us the wisdom that we need to move our own businesses ahead in the name of Jesus. Now, I'd like to introduce Sue. She is an expert in growing businesses, as you can see, selling Amazon as well as other businesses we are here. Let's give a big hand for Sue.
Good morning. The quicker than you want.
Still in the runs, but it's
I'll start while they're so, you guys hear me okay? Yes. Okay. Okay, so talking about Amazon, so just a little bit of background. I started working with Amazon about 15 years ago. And about 10 years ago, a couple of us that would work with Amazon, go to meetings in Seattle, we had these conversations. Who's going to ride on Amazon? Who? We knew they were hot, we knew they were good, but we were kept guessing. Would it be Walmart? I mean, would it be Alibaba in the US? Who's going to come up? Who's going to compete? Who's going to compete with the 800-pound gorilla, right? Well, guess what? Nobody. So, interesting statistic. There's 3 things I want to do this morning. Start with why sell on Amazon, what to sell on Amazon, and how do you do it? Okay, so just those 3. So to start, the why. Well, they own almost a monopoly. They own almost 50% of all e-commerce sales. It's ginormous. So there's your why. That's pretty compelling. Oops. So here are the top reasons to sell on Amazon. First of all, entry is really cheap, super cheap. You can set up a seller account for $39.99 a month and start selling. Amazing in terms of entry. You don't even have to have a website. There you go. Millions of potential customers, millions. And all over US, Canada, and I don't know whether other countries are buying from Amazon US. Amazon Canada, by the way, does not offer downloads. So if you want to get software, you've got to come to the US side. Amazon Prime buyers, best buyers in the world. Royal, get it in a day, get it in 2 days. It's awesome. Optional to build your own website, as I mentioned, and you can start making money immediately. Think about other businesses. You got to have brick and mortar. You have to. I mean, there's so many other issues going on. So to start selling right away. I have just a little side example. I have a daughter who's a teacher, and in the summer during COVID, she would go over to all the, shouldn't give away her secret, all the bookstores, library bookstores in San Diego, and they would have these gorgeous books and textbooks, which are the hottest thing on Amazon. But they'd be $1, $1.50, 50 cents, and I would go with her actually, just some stuff we bring back to the car. And then she'd list them on her Amazon account. She was making a lot of money. There you go. Yeah, but that is a business also. There, I have a friend that has a business. They buy huge volumes of textbooks and resell them, and that's all for the college market. And it's big money. A lot of hard work too, a lot of physical inventory. Anyway, you can start small, like Sydney did. My daughter with just a couple books and went from there. Amazon touts that they give the best user or customer experience ever. And by the way, I do not work for Amazon, and I'm not a proponent of Amazon, I just want to say that, okay? I wish somebody would have come and rivaled that, honestly. You can also be a reseller, you don't have to make any. You can resell somebody else's book, you can resell somebody else's widget, whatever it is. You can pick it up. And how many of you have gone on Amazon and seen, you go to a product detail page to look at a product, and it says, have one, want to sell it? You recall seeing that? I mean, they promote third-party sellers coming in to, let's say, if it's your page, it's your product. If you want to go buy 10 of them somewhere else and resell them, they're all for it. It's really hard when you have a brand. Reputation, so all of a sudden you get a reputation, you start building your brand. And then location independent. So there's two ways to do it on Amazon. You can either ship yourself, whatever your product might be, if it's physical, to the end user who ordered from you, or you can use Amazon's what they call FBA shipping. So that means you take your boxes of widgets and you ship them into Amazon warehouses. They basically check them in to north, south, east, west, cover the US. And that's how they get into their 1 to 2 day shipping. I have so many facilities, I think y'all realize that. Question, has anyone ever been to an Amazon warehouse? You want to tell us about it?
Yeah, it's pretty chaotic, Sue. It's a lot of hustling and bustling around, but the Amazon Flex warehouses where I have been, 2 reasons: to drop off an employee, and number 2, to look into the holiday crush that we're about to embark on. Where the cars come in, they load up with their already reserved line of products that they're delivering, and they're gone. But these were delivery private vehicles doing Amazon Flex.
Okay, so inside the warehouse, there's all kinds of robots. There are humans, but the robot takes it over to drawer A, goes down to drawer 3, puts the thing in, and goes on to the next one. I mean, it's fascinating. Got rid of a lot of human jobs in those warehouses. So what is it? Go ahead, Jason.
I know you had touched a little bit earlier as I walked in about the Prime memberships. I don't know if you touched on a little bit before that about the fact that Amazon does offer discounted Prime for those that are on food stamps and or Medi-Cal.
Oh, that's great.
$6.99 a month plus taxes. Used to be $5.99 a month plus taxes. They upped it $1.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. I know the college kids used to get it for free. So what to sell on Amazon? You can download, you can sign up for a subscription, and it changes all the time. So, yeah, and you're on there too. That's your warranty, yeah. You should be up here, but I couldn't find your products. Are you guys live yet?
One thing we're missing is Mark the Spark bobblehead dolls.
Well, his barbecue sauce ought to be selling up here.
Yeah.
So, I'll spend the rest of the time talking about how. I don't know how many of you have an interest in this, but feel free to stop me if you've got questions, okay? So, first of all, it's really challenging. It's not as easy as it looks. And here's why. Amazon is like that guy you play or girl you play golf with, that every time you go out, they change the rules. Oh, we're gonna have 2 mulligans today. Oh, no, so you get 1 mulligan, but you get 3 extra do-over putts. Anyway, they always change the rules and on a regular basis. When we have a joke in our office that I used to work in, what is Amazon gonna do to us today? And I'm serious. I mean, you wake up and all of a sudden, half your catalog has disappeared from your portal. True. Or you go in and you look and you've lost the buy box to a pirate company that is selling used software. which means the activation code's been used and it will work. Just really weird stuff. So Amazon is very tricky and challenging. But to get going, there's the page where you go ahead and sign up. You set up your products and your listings. Then you make sure that there's a lot to be careful about. Your Anton's there, your SEO, your tags, your keywords. And then there's ways you can promote your products that are very, very important if you want to get good sell-through. And then advertising equally. And there's more. There's tricky ways where you can, if you go in to look at a product that says top seller or best in children's education, those require about 10 criteria that you have to meet in order to get that badge. But if you get that badge, let me tell you, your sales are going to be selling 20 units a week versus selling 60. So these are huge, they're huge milestones if you're selling on Amazon. And then customer reviews is probably one of the biggest things. And I'm going to give you an example. I have a company that I was looking into their product and helping.
I don't know.
Is it working?
I'm just gonna add, when you said about Amazon changes the rules, I sell on eBay. And they do similar things, and I've been to the eBay sellers meetings, conventions. Well, I don't know if they're having them since COVID, but I've met some of these Amazon sellers, and they say it's like 10 times better than eBay.
Yeah, eBay's a nightmare.
But you have to be ready to go with the changes and have your product ready for whatever, shipping relay races you want to do, I'm just a loner eBay person. I'm not trying to sell like thousands of items. But I think that if you want a stepping stone, eBay is a good place to start just for selling minor things and then work your way up to Amazon, because Amazon, there's a lot of pressure too. You have a lot of things to sell.
Mm-hmm. Good point, really good point. So I was gonna tell you about this company, Iola. They're a software publisher. And so the first thing I did is have somebody audit their products. And two of the products have below 3.5 stars. Well, you're dead in the water. If you're under 3.5 stars, you cannot promote your product. You can't participate in Prime Day. You can't participate in the Prime Big Deals Day, which is coming up October 10th and 11th. You can't win a badge. You're just stuck. So, and they have somebody managing their account wanting me to look at it. I'm looking at it thinking, well, someone's asleep at the wheel. That's obvious. That would be the first thing you would do. And there are ways also that you can help yourself with reviews. And I was mentioning this to Craig one week when we were talking. There are third-party resources like Feedback 5 is one that I use a lot. And it's $29 a month. And every time your product ships out to a customer, they give them a couple days to get the product and use it. And then they send them an email and say, would you please post a review for this product? Would you please post a review for this seller? And you just can continue to build a lot of reviews, which is a huge deal. So, then other things that are key is that you have the buy box. And the buy box is when you go in to buy a product and you've got a place where it says, purchase now, put it in your cart. I'll show you an example of this in a minute, but it's mission critical that you have that buy box. If you don't, you're going to lose sales. It's not going to happen. And then the brand protection, if you have,
Sorry.
no, it's fine.
So real quick, okay, let's say that I'm in the business of selling ice cubes, okay, and I'm selling them to the Eskimos, okay, up on the Arctic Circle. And how does Amazon vet those ice cubes? Make sure they're real, make sure they're shippable, make sure that they're something that isn't going to embarrass them at a later date, okay? And have all of these things go wrong. And second, is Amazon only in the widget business? They're not into into selling a service, okay, or a performance type of business, where we're providing, if I was a window washer, okay, I can't advertise my service on Amazon, or can I?
That wouldn't make sense because they're across the US. So if you were a local service provider in San Diego, you wouldn't, it wouldn't be a.
Even if I had window washers in every state, huh?
Not yet, not yet, although it was interesting, yesterday I saw that they did allow Cox to do a sponsored ad, which then goes out to Cox's website. I've never seen them do that before, so that's a new thing. It's always a new thing, it's always a new thing, trust me. But that, they used to not allow that, and they wouldn't allow you to put a sponsored ad and drive traffic from Amazon to your website. So that's a really good new trick to know that they are allowing that. This is the first time I've ever seen that, was yesterday.
What's that? Sponsored.
A sponsored ad, it's a sponsored ad, which you can, I'm gonna go forward just for a minute, I'm gonna show you a couple of examples. Oops. Here, so this is the company that I do a lot of work for. This is the portal in Amazon. These are the products listed up here. You can see there's software boxes, you can see. And there's a product name, you've got the ASIN number, which you live and die over at Amazon on an ASIN number. You see the price, and then you see where it has its edit at the very far right, it says edit, it's kind of small.
Is the ASIN number the Amazon number?
Yes, it is. You're assigned an ASIN number once your product goes live on Amazon. But the edit, in here, basically in this portal, you can do everything. You can set up promotions, you can set up advertising campaigns, sponsored ads, like you just said, asked about, Carlos. You control all your inventory. So for example, all your products are in this category. See, they say active over here. So if you go up and you go to FBA dashboard, FBA inventory, that's shipped by Amazon, and that has all of your information. So
Excuse me, is this your company website or is this what you see on Amazon?
this is actually the Amazon Seller Central, the top you can see, and the company's individual software. This is a company I consult for.
Okay.
And this is all of the things you can do in the portal.
Got it.
So the thing that's cool about the advantage of this is what they call the third party side, or 3P. You can go in here and pretty much do everything yourself. It's self-service. The other side, the 1P side, used to be Vendor Central. And when I started working with Amazon 15 years ago, everything was done through Vendor Central. This did not exist. So you had managers, physical human people that you dealt with, and they helped you to do everything. So all of this was done by managers at Amazon. So the portal actually is really great, and as long as it works well, as long as if you have a problem, you can put a help case in. Usually you'll get some response. Sometimes it takes too long, but there's that. But this is where you can basically manage your entire catalog on Amazon. And then I want to show you so this is an example of a product detail page, and these are the key things I was talking about. We haven't gotten to the store yet, but you can set up your own store on Amazon. So let's say, Craig, you've got all 3 of your books. Then you could have a store that would have all 3 books listed and information about your books. So it would say, visit your store, and you click on it and go to that store where it says visit the individual software store. Can you guys see that, or is it too small? Okay. Yeah. It's right up here. The first one, and then underneath it, 3.7 stars and that 93 ratings. So that's mission critical. How many? You got to be over 3.5 stars, or you really can't move sideways. And then you can see there's a coupon there. You can apply $5 to that product to get $5 off. And when you see that in the first time, if you look at kids typing, that would come up as a big bright green coupon, which attracts that buyer. That, oh, I got money off. So they're very effective. And those are set up in that portal I showed you. And then this is the buy box at the far right. Add to cart, buy now, and see where it says ships from Amazon, sold by individual software. So now, if that said, if a third party came in, let's say, and undercut the price on this, that would go away, and it would say, buy from these sellers. And then you gotta click on that, and you gotta look at all the sellers, and it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. So we probably spent, when I was an employee of this company, we probably spent 3 years in what we call the Wild West, running, and there's a new sheriff in town, you gotta come in and run out all these third-party sellers that were selling junk. I mean, some of the stuff looked like somebody, no joke, had taken like a four-wheel drive truck, rolled over the software box, crushed the whole thing, and now it's for sale on Amazon. Because we would buy them and yeah. But anyway, for the most part, you want to make sure you have that buy box.
Susie, I was just gonna say real fast, the coupon, does that come out of your cost? Is that something that you preferred and you?
Seller does that, yes,
Okay,
seller does
the
that.
seller does
Uh-huh.
she?
Amazon basically gets 70% of everything you sell on Amazon. If you have them ship your product, it's 70%.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, the seller gets 70%, Amazon takes 30%, so your net is 70%. Well, yes, it is, it's expensive, but if you want them to ship all over the world in one day or all over the US and get it there in 1 or 2 days and be prime, customer ready, they take their 30%.
You adjust your prices.
There you go, yeah. There.
Susie, if we could back up again to the ratings, everything from Yelp to rideshare, every business has a 5-star rating to it. Looks like our typing instructor is on the waterfall right there, at 3 point something. How do you come back from the dead? Okay, do you put the hard paddles on a certain business, on a product? Okay, I mean, CPR, if that number 3.7 falls below 3.5, to the dreaded 3 or lower, okay, is it hopeless? Are you out of business? Are you gonna come back as a brand new business somewhere else with a whole new line of widgets?
Oh, that's a good question, really good question, and you gotta be really careful about this. So hopefully your product is liked by your public and the people that buy it, and you're always gonna be above 3.5 stars. But I will tell you that we work like crazy. There's a team of people that address this issue every week. We have a woman that audits the site every Sunday night. If anything is below, it's flagged. And if any complaints come in, if there's new reviews are looked at every week. So sometimes, for example, a person will say, Amazon was slow in delivering the product, 1-star review on the product. You can go into the portal I showed you, you can find that person, and you can, if they didn't in fact rate the product, but they rated Amazon's delivery, you can get it dismissed and taken down. So that's something really important to know. If it's not really about the product, it's just about delivery, okay? It's not a real product review. Second, if you find the person we just did this last week, this came in and one of the guys took it, one of our tech support guys. I got the package and there was no activation code. And I looked for it, couldn't find it. Well, there's a way to communicate with the seller. Go in, you find it, it was a woman named Charlene. We found Charlene. And he was able to send an email to her and say, hey, here's the activation code. We're so sorry it wasn't included. We're not quite sure why, if Amazon took that part out of the package, but here's an activation code and here's a second one just in case. And after you get this working, would you please go back and amend your review? And she did. So, sometimes they don't, sometimes they do, sometimes you gotta notify them a couple times, but this is a huge area. And we actually you have to be really careful about this, but if you have a product like yours that's dead in the water, one of the things you can do, one is there a problem? Are there legitimate complaints, something's wrong with your product? I mean, that's gotta be number one. If there is, you gotta fix it. I mean, this company sells software. Software has bugs.
Yeah.
Known bugs happen, and they have to be fixed. So that's alert number one, you gotta go fix it. Once you fix it, then you can, sometimes we'll use, what we used to call our 5-star review team. What we do is we ship those people the product or give them a download, a link and a key, and we have them review it and then post it. But we have a really look at the product. We don't go say, hey, Carlos, if you run on the, up here, just post a review for me. And you do need to be careful. You can do a little bit of that, but you gotta be careful because Amazon,
We'll catch on.
oh, they got the police out, you gotta watch. So, yeah.
So quick question, two questions. First of all, the customer service side of things when you call Amazon. Is there any loophole or anything to get around speaking to somebody in a third world country that has a hard time understanding you and you understanding them? Where you could ask them, hey, could you transfer me to a US agent? Second question is, when you return something back to Amazon, obviously there's a, do you no longer need it, technical problems, obviously I've learned how to get around that from having to pay for shipping. But is there any way to, like, why have especially when the item is about the same cost as the shipping, why have the item be paid for shipping when you're paying for Prime?
Well, your first question is yes and yes. And usually if I have a real big issue, and I've had some really big issues with Amazon, and there's a call me feature. You can call me and they'll call you right back. And if I get a person that speaks good English, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And I've had so many calls that I'm so sorry, but I can't understand half of what they've just said. They're at the desk in India and they speak, their English is beautiful, but it's so fast I can't understand a word. So that is a thing. And when you're a seller, that's a thing. I don't know how it is on the consumer side, but on the selling side is a thing. So I don't know much about the other one. I know you have so many days to return any item. You go into your own account on Amazon, you look at your orders, and they have you can print something out, take it over to the UPS store or other places and return it. But if it times out, then you're stuck. You can't return it. Somebody, you were going to ask something.
I guess, my thing is you could send products to the warehouse, right? And will they charge or will they take away more of the percentage because you're sending it to the warehouse? But let's say you keep your products in your garage, right?
Okay.
You're the one shipping it. Do you keep more of the percentage?
Yes, you wouldn't pay for FBA shipping because they pay you to pack and pick and pay, and then cut all these, different charges for packaging, basically.
So
Or,
would it be
yes.
from 70% to 100%?
I don't think it's 100%. They're going to get part of your money for sure. It's just a matter of it's going to be probably maybe 20% and not 30.
And
But yeah,
well,
I can't tell you if you want an answer to that. I can ask our accounting lead. She can tell me.
yes, ma'am. I guess one last question. Is the effort worth the income?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, this company is selling, tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, every week they're selling. That's Microsoft's store. I just want to show you can set up a store, and then that's editing products. But let me go back over here. So this is a product that we just are launching right now. It is live and it is for sale. But this is a $140 product. So you can figure that out. We sell for Quicken, we sell about 50 to 60 units a week. So it's a lot of money. Depends on what you have and what the pricing is. I mean, that kid's typing product is $20. So, you want to be in a decent, SRP, and then be able to discount off of that, offer a coupon, $10 off, 10%, 20%. And the other thing is that then on these Prime Day deals, I mean, something like this, you'll sell 400 units in 2 days. So, I mean, you want to be ready. You want to make sure you have the right reviews, the stars. You've got you have the SEO words, everything up there that you're going to get found and maximize those times for sure.
I want to piggyback on what he said. And the way I understood the question is between paying Amazon 20 or 30%, is it worth the hassle for that 10%? Just, that's what the way I understand.
Okay.
Well, yeah, do the number. Is it worth for the house? I don't know.
Just
Good.
figuring out.
It depends on what you're selling. I mean, if you're selling, you know, 2,000 units a month, you're talking about warehouse people putting it together, right? Shipping it, and you're gonna have to pay shipping if you're shipping it also.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is this is our world, which I don't love, but everything's immediate.
Yeah.
If you're Prime, right? If you have Prime, you're getting it good in a day or two. If you ship it to me, I might get it in a week. I'm probably not gonna wanna buy it from you. If somebody else is gonna sell it, I can get it in a day or two. So actually, this changed the landscape when I was talking about the Wild West and all the pirates that would jump on your ASIN, they start selling this, you know, they get a bunch of wheel makers somewhere and they start selling them. What happened was they were completely, pretty much just out of the game once Prime went to 1 and 2 days. Because, oh, I can buy it from them, but I'm not gonna get it for 7 days. And we all want it yesterday, this world we're living in. So that did take a lot of these people out of the game.
But people want immediate response.
Yeah. Yeah, so that really is a thing. Yeah, so those are the key things I wanted to show you, what you can and can't do.
All right.
You missed this part, but we talked about what you sell on Amazon. And that,
What for your service, how much do you charge per month for your team? But this one, for service.
that'd be a project. I mean, I hire out $100 an hour myself, but then if I have other people or research, I charge
And
them.
how many hours typically do you get per month that you and your team would be charging? How many hours? Can somebody hire you?
Yes, yeah, I'm a consultant, yeah. It would depend on I mean, is it one product, is it, you know, these guys that I just showed you, they've got like 50 products. So there's a lot to do, but it would just depend. The most important thing is that somebody's gotta be watching. And like this other company I showed you, Iolo, fancy something or is managing their Amazon account. And when we just did the due diligence and looked at the stars, the ratings, the listings.
You were just,
No, this was another one. It's called Iolo. It's a system, it's another type of software. It basically keeps your PC running nicely and smoothly and updates it. But you know, whoever the fancy farm or something like that, they told me who it was, but they're just not paying attention. I mean, those are just the basics. So you do need somebody really good to manage you that is going to look at all these important things because there's a lot there. And a lot you can affect and change if you're watching, you're at the wheel. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thanks so much.
good job.
Okay, sorry you guys, I was a little late. I've been under the weather. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are fighting whatever bug's going around right now. So drink your vitamin C, however you get it. And I guess we have a few announcements. Yes.
I just want to say thank you for everybody's prayers. Nancy is now back from the hospital.
Oh, praise
Thank God.
I'm gonna ask for some more prayers. My brother, son and wife fell from a tree. He's a tree trimmer and maybe paralyzed from the neck down. So give him your prayers. In the name of the man.
We're on it, Tommy.
Okay, and then next week our speaker is Sue. Oh, yeah, we like her. She's our accountant, right? Just close in prayer. Heavenly Father, I thank you for all the people that have joined us today here and on Zoom, Lord. And I just pray for those that might be ill and lift up Tom's family and whatever miseries they're going through right now, Lord. I just give them hope and just help with the healing process, Lord, with the important people in their life that can help them with their woes right now, Lord. I just pray for travel mercies, anybody traveling during this season, Lord. And all the different hours here at Skyline, Lord. I pray for the new visitors and welcome all the new people that'll be joining us here at Skyline. And Lord, I just pray special blessings on those that are devastated on the East Coast with the floods, Lord. And you know how weather affects every one of us, Lord. And it's in your hands, and we just trust that you will just help people around there as they're being guided to safety, Lord, and whatever issues they may be struggling with. And bless each one of us this week, Lord. Help us stay strong, walk with you daily, and stay in your word. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I have an announcement.
Okay, James.
Well, first of all, let me say that I'd rather you be under the weather rather than above where you can't breathe.
There you go.
But we, again, do have the fundraiser coming up in less than 2 weeks now. So hope you guys can make it. $20 per person unless you're a active or retired military individual, then it's cut in half, and children 12 and under are $10 a piece. We just added a raffle to the agenda. 24-Hour Fitness is donating a 30-day free membership, plus some swag.
Right on.
We have a few different food individuals that are, companies that are donating gift certificates, including Chick-fil-A in Santee. We have several different vendors coming. A photo booth vendor who works for Anthony's Fish Grotto, and Anthony's is cutting a check for $200 towards her fee. So,
Yes.
we've had a lot of things open up over the past couple of weeks, and I'm gonna be glad when it's over, so my blood pressure and sleep can get back together.
Right on, James.
James, the location, Bernie Mesa,
Pretty Mesa VFW, yes.
Bernie Mesa VFW.
So if you, any of you folks on the email list, for EFC probably saw, we've got a new, little bit of tech we're using for our email system. So, we are making some improvements with our tech stack, but, with regards to the email list, there's an upcoming networking mixture. It's technically not an EFC event. However, a number of us, participated in putting this together. It's coming up on October 20th, and that is something that you can get more information about. If you're on the email list, it is an Eventbrite sign up. So there's details there on the Eventbrite page. So we are going to send out more emails about that. So if you didn't get this one, if you're not on the email list, there's still time to catch up to that. And if you're on the text list as well, we're updating that list as well. So I know a number of people have provided their phone numbers for those email, text blasts. I haven't received them because we haven't actually gotten on that list quite yet, but we're working on all that. So look forward to the text, look forward to the emails, and definitely would love to see you guys come out to the event. It is free. This is a free mixture. We are doing it at Woolies East, and we're trying to hit their happy hour time frame so that if you do want to enjoy some refreshments, whatever, it'll be cheaper than what the normal retail price would be. But we are not providing anything other than just our beautiful faces. So it's trying to come up with a name. I kind of just called it each one bring forward. It's literally just a networking event. You can invite anybody you want. They don't have to come to Skyline. They don't even have to be a Christian. This is literally just a business networking event. Bring business cards if you have them. I've invited a number of people who said they're going to attend. So if they can make it, great. It's Friday. It's starting at we are doing it at like 5. From 5 to 9 is the official window, but it's at Woolies East in Mission Valley.
And what day?
October 20th. Yeah, so I'm going to, again, I'm going to actually put some information on the EFC website about it, so you can easily segue from there. But it's in the email blast, and there'll be a text blast about it as well. So I encourage you guys to come. Again, business networking, you don't know who you're going to run into there. Might be some fantastic opportunities. I know of a gentleman who is a business broker that I've invited. I believe him and his business partner are coming. So if anybody is looking to do an exit strategy from their existing business, at some point in the near future. Good time to start talking about that, figuring out what would be a good way to kind of increase the valuation of your business and, position yourself for, a very profitable exit. So, yeah, it's really encourage you guys to attend.
And I just want to invite all the leaders of our class, anybody who's spoken up here, who's been up here, you're a leader, okay? We're having a pastor's appreciation sponsored by Kay Praise and Dr. Jeffries, Robert Jeffries will be speaking. It's this Tuesday. And I've already put in, an RSVP, so if you want to go, just let me know and I'll make sure that you can get it. It's free. It's early. We went last year, Carlos and Anton, I don't know, Susie, anybody
What
that
time,
wants to go. Excuse me, it's here. It's
Well-
here at Skyline.
What time?
I believe 8. It's an early morning breakfast and speak. And let me tell you, the breakfast is awesome. So if you're hungry, that's the place to get your meal of the day. But Dr. Robert Jeffries, who speaks on K-Praise, he is the host speaker. So, and it's always a good venue. So
Yeah, it is.
it's here at Skyline. And if you want any more info, I'll pass it out to you. All right. God bless you all. And actually, church doesn't start till 9:30, so we don't have to rush as much as we used to. Excuse me? Oh, okay, there's a class coming in. All right. Well, God bless you all.
Let's give one more hand to Sue.
You guys, in 7 exciting days, blessings on you as you go. I did not. John and Tim.
Oh, I can send you, a text.